Hey everyone, this is your ultimate travel guide to Mount Tai, the most sacred mountain in China. In this video, I cover everything you need to know, including an instruction to Mount Tai, the origins of its sacred status, travel routes, ticket price, and transportation costs. Finally, I will take you on an on-site tour with my friend. Let's dive in. Mount Tai is located in Shandong province, near the city of Tai'an. It is about 800 kilometers from Shanghai. Take around 4 hours by high-speed train. It's about 500 kilometers from Beijing, with a train ride of roughly 2.5 hours. There are two train stations near Mount Tai, Tai'an Station and Taishan Station. Tai'an Station serves high-speed trains, while Taishan Station handles regular speed trains. High-speed trains can reach speeds of up to 300 kilometers per hour, which is 3 times faster than regular trains. So, I definitely recommend taking a high-speed train for a trip to Mount Tai. The Mount Tai Scenic area covers over 242 square kilometers, with its highest point, Jeddah Emperor Peak, reaching an elevation of 1,545 meters. It's not exactly towering, is it? In fact, compared to other famous mountains in China, Mount Tai has a relatively modest elevation. Yet it holds the title of the first of the 5 sacred mountains, signifying its esteemed status among China's most renowned peaks. So, what set Mount Tai apart and make it so special? In 219 BCE, Emperor Qin Shi Huang held a summit ceremony on Mount Tai to assert his claim as the first ruler to unify China. He was the first true emperor in Chinese history, from Qin Dynasty to Qing Dynasty. 13 emperors personally ascended Mount Tai for imperial rites and sacrifices. Additionally, another 24 emperors dispatched officials to conduct ceremonies on the mountains a total of 72 times. Centuries earlier, Confucius, Shandong's most famous figure, reached the summit and famously declared, "Climbed Mount Tai and the whole world seems small." This perspective, both literal and figurative, stems from Mount Tai's position as the easternmost of China's 5 sacred mountains. In ancient Chinese culture, the east held great significance because it symbolized the direction from which the sun and moon rise, representing the cycle of life, birth, death, and renewal. Mount Tai is uninspiring surroundings. Amidst the low-lying terrain, continue to captivate everyone from modern backpacker to UNESCO, which recognized his cultural importance by adding it to the World Heritage List in 1987. Now, let's talk about 3 main routes for climbing Mount Tai, and which type of tourist they suit best. First up, the Hongmen route. This is a classic path ancient Chinese emperors used. It's about 7.5 kilometers long, with over 7,000 steps. It typically takes 4 to 8 hours to complete. There are tons of scenic spots along the way, making it its busiest route. This one is perfect for the first-time visitors. Next, we have the Tianwaicun route. Start at the Tianwaicun entrance, hopping on the bus straight to the Middle Heaven Gate, Zhongtianmen, cutting the climbing distance in half compared to the Hongmen route. This means less climbing time and effort. It usually takes about 2.5 hours to hiking from the Middle Heaven Gate to the top. Lastly, the Peach Blossom Ravine, Taohuayu route. From the Taohuayu Tourist Center, take a bus to Taohuayuan, then start your hike to the summit. The time needed for this route is similar to the Tianwaicun route. This path is further from the city and sees fewer tourists. There are fewer scenic spots and shops, but it's quiet and surrounded by tall trees. This route is great for those who enjoy a peaceful environment or have climbed the mountain before. Not up for hiking? No problem. There are 2 cable car options available. You can take a bus from the Tianwaicun Visitor Center to the Middle Heaven Gate, then ride a cable car to the summit. Alternatively, you can take a bus from the Taohuayu Visitor Center to Taohuayuan, and then take a cable car to the top. Alright, we've covered the overview of Mount Tai. Now let's dive into the actual tour with some on-site footage. We'll also go over ticket price and transportation costs. Let's start our journey from Tai'an High-Speed Railway Station. This is my friend Bernard, who comes from France, and I'm Michael. Today, the two of us are taking you on a tour of Mount Tai. Once you disembark the train, just follow the flow of the people to the station's exit, and then proceed through the barrier gate using your RD card or passport. Just to the right of the exit, you will find a bus station specific for Mount Tai visitors. From there, you can choose a bus line that takes you to the entrance of your choice. This time, we take a classic Homen route, so we're hopping on the tourist bus line 1 and head straight to the Homen stop. The bus fare is 5 yuan. Once you arrived at Homen stop, follow the crowd again to the Homen Visit Service Center. The sign is huge, so you can't miss it. Oh, here is a pro tip. It is best to book your entrance tickets online in advance to avoid any disappointment. Otherwise, you might find yourself in awkward situations of tickets being sold out, like we did. Luckily, the park serves some additional tickets for foreign visitors, and since my friend is a foreigner, we managed to get 2 tickets. By the way, the ticket price is 150 yuan per person. When you officially start hiking, you will notice the many stone monuments along the trail. These were mainly inscribed by ancient scholars or emperors to commemorate significant events or showcase their calligraphy. As you continue along the mountain pass, a red building will soon appear on your right, Doumu Palace, once run by nuns, and the only Buddhist temple on this route. In front of the temple, there is a brown vessel where you can toss a few coins for good luck. My friend gave it a shot. Inside, you will find the temple isn't very large, but it is one of the oldest on the mountain. Its original construction date is unknown, but rebuilt in 1542 during the Ming Dynasty. Exiting through the west gate, you will continue uphill, passing numerous small shops along the way. There is no need to worry about supplies. And there is even an elderly couple selling their paintings. We hiked during China's summer vacation, encountering many students. Some approached you now for photos, which is great too. When you see the falling locust tree, you are close to the halfway point. It's said that this tree was planted in early Tang Dynasty over 1,300 years ago and fell in 1987 after continuous heavy rains. Further up is Hutian Pavilion, originally built during the Ming Dynasty and expanded in 1747. The name Hutian refers to a Taoist paradise. The pavilion is a gatehouse structure with a cypress tree growing through it. After passing Hutian Pavilion and climbing a bit further, you reach the Zhongtianmen, marking the halfway point to the summit. It's a small open square with many shops and restaurants where you can rest and have a meal. Prices here are a bit higher, but still reasonable. From here, you can catch a glimpse of Nantianmen, the entrance of the summit. If you're feeling too tired, you can take a cable car to the top. After a short break, we decide to continue walking. Not long after setting off, more young friends ask you now for a photo. After passing Yingtianmen, we'll encounter the prominent rock named Zhanyunjian, or cloud-cutting sword. Here, clouds descend the valley, transforming into rain as they meet the warm air. Earn the rock its evocative name. This inscription means endless variation of scenery, and this one is the supreme of 5 sacred mountains. The inscription that you now post with is from a famous poem written by Mao Zedong. These 3 characters, 逍遥游, originally means free and easy wandering. They come from Zhuangzi, a Taoist philosopher. Below this inscription, we saw a girl feeding a wild mountain cat. As we climbed closer to the summit, the paths became more crowded. I was starting to feel exhausted, and you now met another friend, a 12-year-old girl from Wuhan who spoke English fluently. Finally, after several breaks, we reached the south heaven gate, Nantianmen, and made it to the summit. Here is a map of the summit area, and you now was soon pulled into another group photo. The archway at the top is called Tianjie, which means Heavenly Street, and it leads to a long path behind it. Our first task upon reaching the summit was to find our reserved hotel and check in. This is a hotel we booked, costing about 1,000 yuan per night, with a Confucius temple below it. After checking in, we head to the highest peak of Mount Tai, Jet Emperor Peak. It was sunset, so many people were gathered to watch. I found a good spot to capture this beautiful moment. The sky was a mix of vibrant colors, creating a very relaxing atmosphere. After posing for a photo with the iconic spring of 5 sacred mountain stones, we moved to Zhanlu Terrace, which means overlooking Shandong. As darkness enveloped the land, the city lights of Tai'an come to life. The night wind was cold, but many people still gathered here, seemed to be waiting for something. At first, we didn't know why, but we planned to return to our hotel. The next morning at 4 a.m., we got ready to watch the sunrise. The moon was still high, but the mountain paths were even more crowded than the day before. When we tried to go to the Zhanlu Terrace again, we found it impossible due to the sea of people. We realized that many had stayed overnight to see the sunrise, and even more had climbed up during the night. Here is another pro tip. To avoid crowds, don't visit popular Chinese tourist spots during holidays, especially summer vacation and National Day. If possible, visit in spring or autumn during off-peak time for a better experience. We watched the dawn colors of the sunrise and then returned to the hotel for a bit more rest. We set out again around 9 a.m., heading to Daguan Peak. The earliest inscription here dates back to Tang Dynasty, 726 AD, carved by Emperor Tang Xuanzong. Subsequent emperors and noble figures have left their marks, creating its current appearance. Leaving Daguan Peak, we arrived at Bixia Temple, dedicated to the goddess Bixia Yuanjun, the main deity of Mount Tai. The temple was built in 1009 AD during the Song Dynasty and houses a gilded bronze statue of Bixia Yuanjun. She has been a significant cultural influence in northern China for over 70 years and is an important figure in Chinese Daoist culture. Exiting Bixia Temple, we took in a beautiful scenery and you now follow the local customers by making a wish. After exploring summit area, we decided to descend via the Peach Blossom Ravine Taohuayu route. This path is quieter and more rustic, with fewer tourists than the Hongmen route. And notably, there are no shops along the way. After about a 2.5-hour descent, we reached the Taohuayan Visitor Center, where we took a bus to the Taohuayu Visitor Center. The bus fare was 35 yuan per person, and the ride took about 20 minutes. From there, we took tourist bus line 2 to Tai'an High-Speed Rail Station, which cost 5 yuan per person. And that concludes our travel guide for Mount Tai. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. If you have a suggestion for our next destination, let us know in the comments as well. Yonel and I consider making a travel guide for the place you want to see. We hope you enjoy this video. See you next time.